Hi guys, welcome to Odds on Bundesliga. We enjoyed the first games of the German Championship, especially that Bayern 8, Schalke 0, but we have the second week already next weekend. So let's talk with Radek Vegas and see which tips we can give you now. So welcome again to Odds on Bundesliga. This time we are gonna analyze the second week, of course, with Radek Vegas, the man who knows everything about Bundesliga. And we were happy last week to see some public in the German stadium, something not easy to find in Europe. And the favorites, they won. Bayern Munich thrashed Schalke. Also Borussia Dortmund beat Gladbach, and Leipzig got the 3 points. And we have ahead of us another very interesting week with the first game we have to check is Hertha Eintracht. Hertha with a very good start. They won Werder Bremen. They beat Werder Bremen 1-4. Whereas Eintracht, you were saying, Radek, that they could struggle, and actually they only could draw against Bielefeld thanks to a goal scored by Andre Silva. What do you expect here?
Yeah, I think Hertha was better than we thought, and Frankfurt was the way we thought, that they had a hard time against a new team, Arminia Bielefeld, and that's why in this game I see for sure advantage for Hertha here. On the other hand, Frankfurt had a lot of chances to win the game and they didn't. So it's a problem in their attacking to score the goals, which Hertha did very good against Bremen. I think it could be a close game here. The odds are not very brilliant. If you bet on a home win on Hertha, you get 2.35. That's not a huge odd for Hertha home win. So it's still really hard to predict in the first rounds of the season. But as we had a lot of right bets in our German channel last week, we made 5 bets and had 4 right bets. So it was a very good start for us there. And so in this case, I won't bet on Hertha because the odds are a bit too low. I could imagine that this could be a close game or an X for the odds of 3.65. But I think we have more interesting games to bet on, and I don't see really any value in this game.
Okay, so Friday, just enjoy one beer and don't place any bet. I'm better to keep it from maybe for Saturday with the first game we have is Augsburg, Borussia Dortmund, another two teams that they started pretty well the season. Augsburg beat Union Berlin 1-3, and Borussia Dortmund with our favorite Haaland beat easily Gladbach. What a counter-attack, what speed has Haaland with his over 1.90 meter of height, and how fast he can be. So first away game for Borussia Dortmund here.
Yeah, Dortmund made everything right against Gladbach, who is a contender for the Champions League as well. Augsburg surprised a bit. They were not the favorite against Union Berlin in the bookies, but I thought they have a way better team than the bookies see them, and as they presented last season. So I hope for them to be in the safe space of the standings in this season. With Dortmund as opponent here, I don't think they have a chance because, as you said, Haaland is so powerful, and the rest of the Dortmund team made a good impression against a strong team. So I think it should be another win for Dortmund here. The odds on is 1.5 on Dortmund, which is not surprising. I think if you're looking for a bet, we have to watch for Asian handicap -1 in this game on Dortmund, which is 1.8. So that means if Dortmund wins with 1 goal, you get the money back. If they win with 2 goals in advantage, the bet is won. But you never know. Augsburg, maybe they are stepping up. They have a good offense with Finn Bogason, Gregoritsch, Niederlechner and Vargas, and that's not a bad team. But in the defense, they struggle a lot, and they will get a lot of problems with the Dortmund attackers. So I think a 2 or 3-1 for Dortmund should be not surprising.
And then we had the other 2 teams that were defeated by these 2. Actually, another game, Gladbach, who is going to play the Champions League this year with Union Berlin.
Yeah, after the loss in the first game, I think Gladbach has to strike back, and Union Berlin was a bit better after Max Kruse came into the game in the 70 or 80 minute. He's not fit like he has to be, but he will help the team in the long run. In the short run against Gladbach, I see Gladbach winning this game. The odds are not good as well here, 1.54 on Gladbach. Same thing here, I would bet on an Asian handicap -1 on Gladbach to get better odds of 1.91 if Gladbach wins with 2 goals in advantage, and if you have a Gladbach win with only 1 goal, you get the money back. But in this game, I see Gladbach way stronger than Union Berlin, so this would be a bet I'm comfortable with.
And a newly promoted team that surprises Bielefeld. We analyzed last week the favorites to go down again to the Bundesliga too, and the name of Bielefeld came up, of course, but they got a draw against Eintracht, and Cologne, who lost against Hoffenheim and suffered Kramaric. But even it was a very tough game, interesting one, probably one of the best in the first week. And even Cologne, with the goal scored by Drexler in the last minute, they should have earned a point, but then Kramaric again scored, so Cologne lost their first game. Bielefeld and Cologne, we can see on oddspedia.com, odds are really, really tight for both. So they expect like a very tough game.
Yeah, I think so too. The odds are like that only Cologne is favorite of 2.6 here, which is a bit too high, I think, because they really made a very good game against Hoffenheim. They scored twice, had the chance to score a 3rd goal, which was close, and so I think Cologne is the better team, and Arminia Bielefeld here has good odds of 2.8 to win the game because they made a point against Frankfurt. But I think in this game it will be harder for them because it's not the first game. Now Cologne's coach could watch the game and the style of playing of Bielefeld better and analyze them. So I would go on an Asian handicap 0 on the away team here, which means you get the money back if there is a draw, because I think Cologne can score more goals than Bielefeld, and if they do so, you get odds of 1.85 on Asian handicap 0, which means draw no bet, and I like this.
Okay, and the next one is an interesting one with 2 games that should fight in the top positions, probably within the top 4. Leverkusen, Leipzig. We saw Leverkusen probably already missing Havertz with a goalless draw against Wolfsburg, and Leipzig, as expected, with a very good game of with Wolfsburg, beat Mainz. So it's a very interesting game, I think, and odds are also very interesting for both outcomes, actually.
Yeah, but I think it's very, very hard to predict because Leverkusen didn't manage to win the game against Wolfsburg. I think they lost a lot of potential in the attacking with because they sold Havertz and Volland, who were the top scorers of the team last seasons. And so they are really missing. On the other hand, as you said, Leipzig made a good job against Mainz, and I think that Werner left their team is not a huge problem because they have a really good roster with a lot of young, talented players, and they have an awesome coach with Julian Nagelsmann, who is used to develop teams and is not relying on some superstars, and that's why I think Leipzig is a class better than Leverkusen, but you can't say this based on one game we've seen now. And the odds on Leipzig is attractive with 2.4. Maybe we step a little bit down with the Asian handicap with plus or minus 0.25. Means if the game is a draw, you lose half your bet. But if the game is win, you get is a win for Leipzig, you get 2.1. And yeah, so you are kind of a bit safe if the game is a draw, but I really don't see a Leverkusen win here because of the arguments I said before that they are struggling in the attacking.
Yeah, and we saw, and you already mentioned before, how you trusted Nagelsmann and Leipzig even to be better this year in the Bundesliga. And the last game in this first slot of 3:30 p.m. in the Bundesliga, we have Mainz, Stuttgart. With again Mainz, we just saw how they lost against Leipzig, and Stuttgart, they came again to the Bundesliga, but their start, especially the first half, was really bad, and they lost. Even they could got a point at the very last moment of the game. But finally, they couldn't get any point in their debut in the Bundesliga. What should we expect
both
here?
Lost. Yeah, both lost their games against better teams. So in this game, it's kind of ugly, you know. You have Mainz, who is always up and down, and on good days they can surprise. And I think to lose 1-3 against Leipzig is not a bad result for a game who's expected to play against relegation. And on the other hand, Stuttgart also showed some skills in coming back from a 0-3 and almost made a draw against Freiburg. I won't touch this game for betting as the odds are not very attractive. 2.35 on Mainz is too low to bet on a team like Mainz. On the other hand, I can't see a clear advantage for Stuttgart. If I would bet on a draw maybe, but better is not to touch games where you are not sure and can't find hardly a value here.
Okay, so let's see how these two teams also developed in the season, and we have to check the last game on Saturday with two teams that actually they are two classics of the Bundesliga, and both also started really bad the season. We have Schalke, Werder Bremen, with Schalke being completely thrashed by Bayern Munich, and Werder Bremen also losing their first game.
Yeah, both got the most goals in their own goals. So 4 goals against Bremen, 8 goals against Schalke. This is really the two baddest team you can have in the Bundesliga at the moment, and the odds are 2.6 for Schalke. But how can you bet on a team which lost 8-0 and hasn't won a game for 17 Bundesliga games in a row? That's kind of impossible. And on the other hand, you can't bet on a team like Werder Bremen, who was almost relegated to the second league last year. I think a clearly no bet game.
And on Sunday, we have the other side of the coin. We have Hoffenheim against Bayern Munich. I also wanted to ask you before making a tip here is how you think the departure of Thiago Alcantara can affect the team. I mean, we all expected, I think, him to leave. He wanted to leave, and his contract was about to expire. But we just saw also in his debut in the Premier League how important is this player for everything he's playing for.
Yeah, he was a long time very underrated in the German Bundesliga, and a lot of so-called experts said all the time, he doesn't make the change, the impact, but you know, we shouldn't not forget that he was the only player Pep Guardiola wanted to have when he was coached at Bayern Munich, and now Jürgen Klopp was so happy to sign him at Liverpool, and yeah, he won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. He's a great player. Everyone should accept that. On the other hand, I think Bayern has a lot of players who can play his role in the midfield, like Tolisso maybe, like Goretzka is a kind of more attacking player, and so as you saw against Schalke, he wasn't missed that much. That's not a really game changer for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, but maybe in close games in the Champions League someday they will miss his cleverness, his passes, his ball handling skills. That is something you hardly find. In this game against Hoffenheim, Bayern is for sure a huge favorite with odds of 1.25. I had a look on goals here because both teams are scoring goals for fun. Bayern 8 goals, Hoffenheim 3 goals, all 3 goals by Andre Kramaric. But that's a kind of problem of Hoffenheim against strong teams. They are focused on Kramaric. If he is out of the game because he has a good defender, then they will face problems here. But the odds on Bayern are too low to find value, because as I expected against Schalke that they will not show everything they have, but they showed everything they have. Maybe they will beat Hoffenheim up again. But you have to bet on Asian handicap -2 on Bayern to get a fair odd of around 2.0, and that is something I won't touch here. And the bet on over goals is also ridiculous, because if you bet on over 2.5 goals you get odds of 1.3, and that is not a thing you want to have. And to bet on even over 3.5 you get odds of 1.7. That is really also too risky, and you risk a lot on bets like this, favorite ones, and you can't win a lot. So this is not the games we want to bet on. So maybe in the last one.
Let's leave it. And then the last one. Let's see if we can find some value here in the Freiburg Wolfsburg. We already said this good start of the season for Freiburg, beating Stuttgart. Especially the first half was really good, and then Wolfsburg got a draw against Leverkusen. But they are still favorites to win this game. Wolfsburg.
Yeah, I see the same, because Freiburg had also a lot of problems in the defense. Getting 2 goals against a new team is not a very, very good thing. They were more than happy to win this game. And Wolfsburg is a way other team, and that they kept 1 point against Leverkusen is not that bad, because they had a game in the Europa League before. And I think now they have 1 week to focus on Freiburg here, and being a bit better team than Freiburg, I think the odds of 2.4 on Wolfsburg are okay. But in the Bundesliga, between these teams in the middle field, and I think all behind the top 3 teams, Bayern, Dortmund and Leipzig, everyone can beat everyone, and there will be a lot of draws as well, and you always have the danger of draws in this game, and that's why I always like the Asian handicaps, and I only bet on Asian handicaps. And in this case, to bet on Wolfsburg minus 0.25 means if the game is a draw, you only lose half of your bet, and if Wolfsburg win, you get odds of 2.07. So you don't lose the whole bet on Wolfsburg as you would if they won't win with 2.4. But both bets are attractive for me. I think Wolfsburg is a bit better and can win this game, and at least they should draw. That Freiburg will win would surprise me, but you never know.
Then let's back Wolfsburg in the very last game of the second week of the Bundesliga. This is all for us this week. Thanks, Radek, for being with us in Odds on Bundesliga, and see you next week.
See you. Bye.
Bye. I hope you enjoy all our tips, so please do not forget to click on the subscribe button and on the bell to get notification. Also, thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Remember also that you can listen to all our videos on our podcast on Spotify. And next week, of course, we will be back with more action about the German Championship, about the Bundesliga.